Hello everyone, welcome back to our economics class, and today's topic is importance of price elasticity of demand. This is also from unit number 3 and very important question for 5 marks. So the main heading is price elasticity of demand. In the past classes we have discussed what is price elasticity of demand, how many types it is divided into, and what are the determinants of price elasticity of demand. Two concepts related to price elasticity of demand are completed, that is types, it was divided into 5 types, and what were the factors determining price elasticity of demand, that were also in 5 points. And today's topic, that is the third topic related to price elasticity of demand, that is importance. We have read how many types it is divided into and how to say whether so and so commodity is having elastic demand and inelastic, that also we have read. In today's class we are going to learn why is it important to study the price elasticity of demand. So why is it important? It is based on the following 5 factors. What are those? The first point is finance minister. The second point is monopoly. The third point is factor pricing. Fourth point is government. Fifth point is international trade. That means price elasticity of demand is useful for all of these 5 points. Before starting the answer, there is a mind map drawn over here. So if you understand these things in mind, then the concept will be understood very easily. So whatever the commodities which are necessary for us, whichever the commodity is necessary for us, which is most compulsory, needed for us, that kind of commodities, and which are not having any substitutes. It is not having any substitutes. So what are those commodities which are also necessary for us and also not having any substitute? Few examples are written over here, like rice is not having any other substitute and it is much necessary for us. Then pulses, sugar, salt, petrol, cigarettes, alcohol, these all things are not having any close substitutes. That means if the prices of these commodities rise, then people will not stop buying these commodities because it is much essential. We cannot live without it. So when the price was low also people used to buy. When the prices are high also people are buying. That means the demand here is unchanged. It is not changing. So what we say in economics terms, not changing means inelastic. Not changing means inelastic demand. So whatever the commodities which are necessary for us as well as which is not having any close substitutes, those commodities will always have inelastic demand, and we can fix higher price for this kind of commodities also in order to get more profits. When a person fixes the higher price in order to get more profit, for example a commodity of 10 rupees, if he is selling at 15 rupees, then the 5 rupees are the profit for him. So are we selling at a higher price? Yes. Now we are selling few commodities at higher price, that are which commodities? Which are having inelastic demand. That means even if the prices are high also people will buy it. Why? Because it is necessary for the persons to live. The next side, the things which are having close substitutes, that means you can either use this also, that also. Okay. So like Colgate and Close-Up are close substitutes. Then Sprite and Thumbs Up also close substitutes. Then Lux soap as well as the Santoor soap is also having close substitute. Then tea is also having a close substitute, that is coffee. Only few examples I have written, there are many examples which are having close substitutes. What happens here? If the prices of one commodity is increased, people will go and choose the other substitute which is having less price. So we cannot fix a higher price here. We can only fix low price for which type of commodities? Which are having elastic demand. In simple terms, just keep in mind the commodities which are inelastic, you can fix higher price. The commodities which are inelastic, which have inelastic demand, you can fix higher price for them. The commodities which are elastic in nature or which have elastic demand, you can fix only low price for them, you cannot fix a high price. So if you understand these things, it will be useful in the following points. So let us see the first citing or the first point. Finance Minister. So this law is helpful for the finance minister. Okay, this law is helpful for whom? For the finance minister. For what purpose? For the imposing of taxes. This law, price elasticity of demand, is useful for finance minister for imposing taxes. First point is clear. Then the government impose taxes. Why the government will impose taxes? In order to get revenue. What is revenue? Any income which you are getting from the public, any source of income which the government gets from public is called as revenue. Like one such example is taxes. When we pay tax, the government is getting income. So government will impose taxes in order to get revenue. Okay, this law is helpful for finance minister. Why? For imposing of taxes. Okay, then government will impose taxes. Why? In order to get revenue. Revenue means money is coming. Next, while imposing taxes, the finance minister, while imposing the taxes, the finance minister will select the commodities. He will select the commodities which are having price elasticity. Based on the principle of price elasticity, the finance minister will select the commodities. Now the question arises, like when the government can get more revenue, when government wants more revenue, when government wants more income from the public, it will use inelastic demand commodities. It will use the commodities which are having inelastic demand. Why? Because for inelastic demand commodities, you can fix higher price. When you fix higher price, you get more profits. So whenever the government wants more revenue or more profit, it will choose which kind of commodities which are having inelastic demand. So this law is helpful for the finance minister in the imposition of taxes. Why the government will impose the tax? Government will impose the tax in order to get revenue. Okay. Then while imposing the taxes, the finance minister will use the price elasticity of demand to select the commodities. Okay. Then whenever the government wants more revenue, it will select the commodities which are having inelastic demand to get more revenue or more profits. So is this price elasticity of demand helpful for the finance minister in imposing of taxes? Yes. So the first importance of price elasticity of demand is it is useful to the finance minister. Second point, monopoly. Mono means single, poly means market. Single market, or you can say single seller. A market which is having only one seller is called as a monopoly market. That single seller is called as monopolist. Okay, he is the seller. So in a market there is only one seller, that is called as monopolist. Now how this law is useful for him? Let us see. This law is useful for the monopolist in order to fix the prices. Why it is useful to the monopolist? To fix the prices. Now, how he can fix the prices of commodities? He will fix a higher price, he'll fix higher price for the commodities which have inelastic demand and lower price which are having elastic demand. Again we are using this map. He is fixing higher price for the commodities which are having inelastic demand. He is fixing lower price for the commodities which are having elastic demand. So, if you have this thing in mind, all the points will be very clear for you. So, 2 points are done. First is useful for the finance minister for imposing taxes. Second, it is useful for the monopolist to fix the prices of the commodities. Third point, factor pricing. So, before we start the citing factor pricing, we need to know what are the factors of production. FOP means factors of production. Always keep in mind that there are 4 factors of production. Okay, there are 4 factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, organization. This is the basics of economics, like how 2 tables are the basics for mathematics. In the same way, the 4 factors of production, you can say that they are the heart and soul of the economics. So, always keep in mind how many factors of production are there? 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital and organization. So, these are the 4 factors of production. Now, these 4 factors of production are going to get income, or returns in the form of land will get return in the form of rent, labor will get return in the form of wages, capital will get return in the form of interest, organization will get return in the form of profits. So, land, labor, capital, organization will get income in the form of rent, wages, interest, profits. This is okay, but you can observe that rent of many houses will be different. Like the house which I live, the rent will be different. The house in which you are living, the rent will be different. So, why there are different rents? How can I fix a higher rent and when can I fix a lower rent? The question arises. Now, the area where you have all the facilities, all the basic needs and facilities, like we need schools and colleges near to our house, near to our land. We must have the facility of hospitals, we must have the facility of transportation, the bus, autos, everything must be available, and household needs items, vegetable market, everything. When you have all these conveniences, all these facilities, that area the rent will be high. Okay, and the area which is at remote place or far away place, like near to the villages, you need to travel far to go to college, you need to travel far in order to visit a hospital. So, such places are not having facilities. So, in that kind the land will be having less rent. So, is this price elasticity of demand helping us to fix the prices of land? Okay, how much rent should I pay to the land? It is dependent on the price elasticity of demand. Now, wages. There are different laborers. When I need to pay more wages to them, when I need to pay less wages to them. For example, if I am severe need of laborers, okay, if I am in need of I need the availability of laborers. Without laborers, my business will go down. So, at that time I need laborers, that means the demand is more. So, even if the labor is asking me a higher price, I need to pay that much of wages to him in order to satisfy my demand. So, when there is more demand of laborers, we can fix higher wages. When the demand is low, at that time we can fix lower wages. Coming to capital, for example, if you are in need of gold loan, okay, if you are in need of gold loan and it is very urgent for you, even if they are charging high rate of interest, you are ready to take the loan. So, how we are deciding that how much interest we are going to pay? Based on the price elasticity of demand. Last point, organization will get returns in the form of profits. Whenever I want profits, I will reduce the resources. With limited resources, I want more number of profits. For example, in place of 20 laborers, I will keep only 10 laborers. In place of 5 machines, I will keep only 2 machines. With less capital, less resources, I want more profits. So, in short, this law is useful for fixing the prices of factors of production. The 4 factors of production, land, labor, capital, organization, will get returns in the form of rent, wages, interest and profits. 3 side headings done. First, it is helpful for the finance minister in imposing taxes. Second, it is useful for the monopolist to fix the prices of production, prices of the products. Then third, it is useful for the factor pricing, how much prices we need to give to the factors of production. Fourth side heading is government. This law is useful for the government also. How? Let us see. Government will undertake industries which are having inelastic demand. Government will undertake which kind of industries? Which are having inelastic demand. These are generally termed as public utilities. They are generally termed as public utilities. So, by undertaking these industries, what is the main aim of the government? To promote the welfare of the people. For example, railways, TSRTC, then gas offices, these are all run by the government only. So, the question arises, why the government is selecting only inelastic demand commodities? Why not elastic? Because for the inelastic commodities, the demand will not change. So, even if we keep higher prices, the government will get more income. Because of this reason, the government will undertake the industries which are having inelastic demand. So, even if the prices of gas are rising, people will buy gas because without gas, cooking is not possible. Without cooking, you cannot have your meal 3 times a day. So, it is very much necessary. So, government is choosing the commodities which are much necessary to the public. So, that kind of goods are having inelastic demand. Last and final point, international trade. International trade. Trade between two countries. Trade between two countries are possible with the mutual elasticity of demand of each other's product. In simple terms, I will give you example. Like you are preparing for your board exam and you feel that maths is a tough subject, mathematics is a tough subject, and your friend knows mathematics very well. Okay. Now, you know physics well and your friend knows mathematics well. So, what you will do, you will have a discussion that I will explain you physics and you can explain me mathematics. So, with the mutual understanding of each other, you are satisfying your want. In the same way, the trade between two countries is possible when they are having mutual elasticity of demand of each other's product. For example, China and India. There are many Chinese products which we use in India, like mobile phones we use, and the mosquito bats we use, and many commodities like electrical items, or it may be any plastic items. Backside you may be finding made in China. When we are having demand for Chinese products, then only we are getting exports from that country. Okay, if we are not in need of such commodities, why will we take it from China? So, we are having mutual understanding between each other, because of which this international trade is going smoothly. So, who is helping us? Price elasticity of demand. Next example, UAE and India, United Arab Emirates. Like petrol is found in more quantity. Petrol is abundant resource in UAE. So, we borrow petrol from UAE. So, how we are using the commodities from various countries based on the mutual understandings. So, the 5 points are completed. If someone asks that what is the importance of price elasticity of demand in our daily life, you need to say 5 things. It is useful for the finance minister in imposition of taxes. It is useful for a monopolist to fix the prices of product. It is useful for the factors of production to fix their incomes like rent, wages, interest, profit. Then fourth point, it is useful for whom? It is useful for the government in order to get more profits from inelastic demand commodities. Then fifth point, it is useful for the international trade. So, this topic has come to an end. We have read price elasticity of demand types, then factors that determine. This is the third thing, importance of price elasticity of demand. See you in the next class. Till that time, stay safe and keep practicing.